Have you noticed that we've normalized disrespect between men and women? We've turned it into entertainment, a gender war where everyone jumps online to make disrespectful generalizations about the opposite sex. Even on my platforms, I critique both men and women, well, because it's my job, right? But I don't publicly disrespect my girlfriend, ever, right? But today, couples are dragging each other on social media like it's nothing. And behind the scenes, it's even worse. I know because I counsel these couples. I see it firsthand. And the scary part is, most people don't even realize how disrespectful they're being. But here's what almost nobody understands, which is that disrespect is the fastest way to kill desire and the slowest, most predictable path to a breakup. I've worked with thousands of men and couples in relationships almost never fail because of some big moment. They fail because there is no frame. So there's no structure and there's no standards. The relationship erodes quietly, one small violation at a time. Every strong relationship I've ever seen follows the same 13 apex standards. Every failing relationship violates them. These aren't theories, they're patterns that repeat across thousands of people. And today, we're starting with the first and most foundational principle, which is respect. Most people think they understand respect, but in reality, it's the rule couples break the most, and usually without even knowing it. Respect is the quiet killer, the slow leak, the invisible crack that eventually collapses everything else. So in this video, we're going to address the issue of respect and how people unintentionally destroy their relationships by not having respect. And we're going to talk about how to rebuild things in a way to restore polarity, trust, and desire. Now, this is cut from a massive live stream, so hopefully this format is easier to digest. Let's get into it. Zero tolerance for disrespect. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? Because you've probably heard that before, right? Well, here's the thing. Genuine desire is a requirement for a relationship to work. She has to have the desire for you. It has to be hypergamous desire, meaning she has to see you as the best, right? Now, you can't enforce desire. You can't put a gun to her head and say, desire me, love me, like me, be attracted to me. You can't do that, right? But you can enforce the standards that can create the condition for desire to flourish and also set boundaries so that desire doesn't erode away. And a lot of these things, these standards are that we're going to go through are designed to do exactly that. They're either creating conditions for desire for each other and love for each other can flourish, okay? Or they're creating boundaries so that that desire is less likely to just erode away, okay? So many of these standards are for that. Now, some of them have more to do with enforcing capability or sussing out whether she's capable or not. And some of them have to do with, having a compatibility with each other and maintaining that alignment with what your values are and where you're going. So some of these out of the 13 standards are related to that, but many of them are related to desire maintenance, which is the thing that erodes away in most long-term relationships. That's the part that we're not designed to keep going for 30, 50 years. You know what I mean? We're designed to love bomb each other, go through drama and problems, as well as meet milestones, which is dopaminergic, it keeps things going. And then the smoke clears and you don't love each other anymore. And then you break up and you mate switch. Psychopaths are evil, but they are successful. And not because they're evil, they're successful because they're effective. The average man is drowning in overthinking, fear, people-pleasing, and hesitation, while the most ruthless personalities walk through life winning, while you are struggling and you are losing. But here's the truth. You don't need to be a psychopath to win. You just need to learn the traits that they mastered and use them without being immoral or having poor ethics. Focus so sharp that it cuts through distraction. Charm that bends social dynamics. Resilience that makes you unshakable. Ruthlessness but with empathy for others, the ability to say no without guilt, fearlessness in the moments that matter, mindfulness that kills anxiety, and action taking that separates leaders from followers. This isn't about becoming a terrible person. It's about becoming powerful, someone who leads, someone women trust and desire, someone who commands his world instead of just reacting to it. And that's why I created the Psychopath's Playbook, a complete system for the good men, the non-psychopathic men, but for men who want the results without becoming evil and without wasting years of trying to figure it out alone. This is an inner game course that will allow you to tap into that thing that you have been missing, that thing that's inside of you that will allow you to make more money, seduce women, and succeed. If you're ready to unlock the traits that make the world's most effective men untouchable, click the link and get into the community. When this course drops, you will get your exclusive announcement, and you'll be on the list before it fills up. And together, we'll make you unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. This is where your old self ends and your rise begins. I'll see you there. Okay, because we lived a very risky lifestyle out in the wilderness for most of our history, where we were dead. Okay, babies died early. All right, we had more infant mortality rate was really high. Then people tended to die from violence, from illness, from whatever by the time they were 30, or whatever, thereabouts. Some would live a little longer, like the capacity for us to live longer if we never caught a disease or didn't get clubbed to death was pretty high still back then. But most people didn't get to do that. Most people didn't get the opportunity to live to 80 or whatever because something would catch them and kill them before then, right? And so given that we evolved in that sort of environment where things are very violent, very risky, not medical, don't have the medical care. You could die from a common cold, you know what I mean? Could die from tetanus because you stepped on a stick. I mean, it wasn't an advantage for our brains to condition to be with one person, our soulmate, until we're 100 years old, because most people would never live that long or even come close to it. What was an advantage was to have these high drama relationships where you bang out kids with a bunch of different mommies, and mommies banging out kids with different daddies. And maybe you have the protection of a mate for a couple of years, but then he gets killed in battle or she cucks him or whatever happens. You see what I'm saying? So like, we have a very violent, tumultuous upbringing that our brains are conditioned for. So if you let your brain do it for you, you're going to end up doing exactly that, which is what you see in a lot of low income areas, but not just, both the inner cities as well as rural areas. These crazy, dumb relationships where everyone cheats on each other. There's domestic violence. There's all this stuff. There's babies from different dads. There's dads taking care of babies not theirs. There's all kinds of crap going on. Well, that's the monkey brain. Okay, that's what the monkey brain does. If you don't make good decisions for yourself and have good values, you end up being a trailer park Bob with 3 different mommies, and kids you don't see, like stupid stuff, right? And so if you don't want to be trailer park Bob, I like that. That's a good character. If you don't want to be trailer park Bob, right, and you want to be a successful, valuable guy with a good relationship, the woman who's not going to cuck you, you have to do things. You can't let your monkey brain run the show. Okay, and most people are idiots when it comes to these things. They let their monkey brains run the show, and then they have these insane egos about it. That's the thing that really pisses me off. It's like they're all over the place spewing up their bullshit and having mental gymnastics over, you know what I mean? And these massive egos of just justifying what the monkey brain is doing. Experts do this. Doctors do this. Therapists do this. They're just mouthing crap to justify monkey brain behaviors instead of thinking about what could we do to perform better? How could we arrange our lives so we could do better, right? And what are the strategies? What are the tools? How can we redirect this brain we have into success in getting the things we want? They're not asking those fucking questions. And I'm over here screaming on YouTube about it with, 20 some thousand subscribers or whatever. And there's people out there with millions of people watching them talking about this shit who say nothing. It drives me fucking crazy. But anyway, so you can't leave it to your own devices. Desire has to be maintained. You have to do things to maintain it. That means you have standards in your relationship that are designed to keep that thing going, right? We all kind of know, like even the dumbest people out there who know nothing about relationships, even the most blue-pilled, if you want to call them that, people out there know that you have to continue to maintain your relationship, right? Like people know that, you know what I mean? Like they know you have to like put effort in or else the relationship falls apart. Like people know that. They don't have any idea how to do it. You know what I mean? Nobody's teaching anybody how to do it. Well, I am, but who knows where I'm at? You know what I mean? Most people don't know who I am. Okay. But it's not being taught on a large scale. We'll put it like that. Okay. So these standards, this is how you do it. Having these standards is how you make sure she still wants you 10 years later, 30 years later, and that you still want her. You have to actively do something to make it happen. And that's your frame that does it. You have a frame that does that. Well, what involves frame? Frame means having boundaries and standards that keeps you seeing the world the way you want to see it and actioning doing behaviors in the world in the way that's going to get you the results that you want. And you're both aligned with those things and you're both doing those things and moving a relationship in a direction that you both want to go. And you can't do that. You don't have frame if you don't have boundaries, if you don't have standards. And these standards and boundaries need to be designed to maintain, to keep desire going, as well as making sure, executing the capability, you know what I mean, of being a healthy person for the other person and keeping your goals and your direction aligned and that stuff too. But the goals, the direction, the compatibility, the capability, I don't want to say those are easy, but that capability and compatibility. Okay. So is she capable of being healthy? And is she, are you two compatible together? That has more to do with vetting and choosing the right person. You know what I mean? And then you have a few standards that maintain that direction, but that's pretty easy. What's not easy, because it's the thing that's designed to go away if you don't do something about it, is desire. Even if that chick sees you as the best she can do, if you don't do anything about that, 5 years later, she's not going to see you that way. She's just not, her feelings for you will erode. Then she could do something stupid, like she could cheat on you, break up with you, separate, something like that. And then maybe that separation, it bonks her on the head. That's the pattern disrupt she needs to then go, oh, wait, he is the best I can do. Okay. But you don't want to create that problem, because that leads to relationships breaking up and problems. You don't want the relationship to blow up for her to realize that you're her hypergamous best. You know what I mean? You don't want her to feel like you're not and that she needs to leave, right? Because you didn't do these things that I'm going to list here with the boundaries and standards. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you want. So anyway, so yeah, we know, okay, zero tolerance for disrespect. Well, again, maintaining respect is a key thing for maintaining desire. A woman can't love you if she doesn't respect you. She can't maintain desire for you and seeing you as the guy she wants to be with if she loses respect for you. So you have to do the things as a man to be valuable and to be somebody who's worthy of that respect. But that's more like shit you should be bringing into the relationship and stuff you should be doing anyway, right? But you have to set a standard for how you treat each other in regards to respect, because respect is a precursor to love and desire. This is not an opinion, by the way. This is a researched fact based on the biology of attachment. She doesn't respect somebody, she doesn't have that attachment to that person. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So, but again, you can't hold a gun to her head and say, you better love me and desire me and respect me and have a feeling of respect, or else. Like, you can't, she has to have that feeling on her own. But what you can do is take away the ability for her to be disrespectful to you, which would put her mind in a negative bias and erode away whatever feelings she used to have of respect for you. So if she fell in love with you and she had to have had some level of respect for you if she fell in love with you. But let's say she's the type of person who has been conditioned to be disrespectful as a means of behaving, as a means of controlling her relationships, as a means of getting people to do what she wants, you know what I mean, or whatever. And so then she executes that tendency, that toxic trait that she has, and acts disrespectful to you. What happens if you tolerate it is that you become less worthy of her respect. So her mind gets in a negative bias and she loses respect over time, the more time she's disrespectful to you, right? And then what ends up happening is the desire's gone. You see, there's no motivation to be in a relationship with you. And this would go the other way around. Although you don't actually require, as a man, because of hypergamy, you don't actually require respect in order to, have desire for the girl. Believe it or not, us guys are a little bit goofy in the sense that we could have not a lot of respect for a girl and still have desire for her. We still want to bang her. We could still want to take care of her. But that doesn't mean you should disrespect the girl you're with. Just because you don't need it because of vasopressin, you don't necessarily need that respect as a man in order to desire her. A lot of guys think then that it's okay to be disrespectful to the girl they're with because they still care about them, they still love them, they still this. Well, no, that's not true, because if you are disrespecting her, you're eroding away her value and how she feels about herself. If she accepts that from you, she's going to feel less valuable to you, and therefore she will be less valuable to you. She won't show up 100% for you if you disrespect her all the time and she doesn't feel 100% with you. You see what I'm saying? So you can't disrespect her either. Just because your love for her and need to take care of her doesn't depend on respect. That doesn't mean that disrespecting her is okay, because it'll erode away her showing up 100%, and it'll erode away her feeling good about herself when she's with you, which is the exact opposite of what you want to do, right? So you have to have a standard of respect. We treat each other like this. This is in private and especially in public, okay?